Raynor, you let him walk all over you. There's a difference between cordial and compliant.
You told me to play nice with others. Now you complain? I don't have to listen to this. I'll finish exploring on my own.
Sorry you had to hear that. Our family feuds aren't usually so dramatic. Raynor always requires a delicate touch, but he's never stormed off before. He hates being on his own.
What are you two arguing about?
That whole shadow business. I didn't like the way Raynor let that high elf artificer with a dwarven control rod up his arse order us around. My brother didn't deserve to be treated so poorly. I just wish he believed it too.
Raynor mentioned something about finishing your exploration.
Before I wounded his pride, we were planning to explore this marvelous machine world. He charged off to prove he didn't need my help, and we know how that's going to turn out. I'll let him cool off, but could you make sure he stays out of trouble?
I'll go check on him.
What I said to Raynor was pretty harsh, but he can be so infuriating. Look, he might be a brilliant artificer. Unfortunately, he's a terrible dungeon delver. Without me, he's going to get lost or hurt. Just don't mention me when you see him.
Where do you think Raynor is going?
There are so many intriguing possibilities, I'm not sure which one he tried to tackle first. If I were my brother, I'd start by heading into the radius. We talked about using that gulch with the outflow pipe as a base, so maybe begin there?
You're sure you don't want to go after your brother?
No. Raynor needs some alone time. We both do. No sense starting the same fight all over again. You go talk to Raynor. Help him work things out so we can get back to our usual sibling rivalry. Just don't let him know I sent you.
Do you and Raynor argue very often?
Like Kwama warriors fighting for the affection of their queen. We're siblings, of course we have arguments. Raynor's a thinker, and I'm all about action. Our differences make us a great team, when we're not engaged in a heated debate.
Kirith doesn't appreciate my contributions to our partnership. She thinks I'd be lost without her. Well, I'll show her. My superior intellect easily outshines her bravado and daring do. But what brings you out here, my friend?
I thought I'd give you a hand exploring Clockwork City.
That's a generous offer, but I find your sudden arrival somewhat convenient. Did my sister send you after me? She really does think I'm as helpless as a newborn scrib without her, doesn't she?
Can't a person just want to help an old friend? Besides, who wouldn't want to explore this place?
It's a fascinating place, isn't it? So much to see and learn. People in the Brass Fortress told me about a number of sites. We simply have to go and see them for ourselves. The possible discoveries, they boggle the mind. Shall we go explore?
Let's go explore Clockwork City.
There are a number of locations I want to examine. I added them to your map. Lead on, and I will follow. Don't worry. I'll provide any assistance I can, but I have to admit I'm not much of a fighter. That's more Kirith's area of expertise.
Let's go.
The resonant sphere. One of Sothasil's minor marvels. There! Did you hear it? The same tone that the central spire emits during the night cycle. Let me tell you what I discovered before we move on. Did you notice the perfect symmetry? The total roundness of the form? And the way it reacted to simple, magical impulses? Incredible! If memory serves, the chimes sounded similar to the ones that ring in the brass fortress.
What do you think this sphere is for? What's its purpose?
Applying magic to the sphere provoked an oral response. Perhaps Sothasil utilizes different frequencies of sound to perform his divine workings. On the other hand, Lord Set might just appreciate good music.
You're a dark elf. Should you even be asking such questions about one of your gods?
Tribunal doctrine strictly defines the consequences of questioning the methods and mechanisms of our living gods. The apostles here in the Clockwork City emulate Sothasil in their own ways. So any questions I ask seem tame by comparison.
Let's move on.
That's close enough. Don't want to disturb the, wildlife. Those machines must be pumps for moving the lubricant throughout the Clockwork City. Fascinating. I have what I need. We're done. I wonder how the lubricant winds up in the Veil. Every time I answer one question, 3 more appear to take its place.
What purpose does the Veil of Tears serve, do you think?
I'm glad you asked. I surmise that a correlation exists between the lubricant and the dead organic matter inevitably created in the Clockwork City. It has to go somewhere. I speculate that those pumps distribute the grease throughout the complex.
Organic matter? Even the trees are made of metal.
Ah, but the fabricants consist of both flesh and machine. And so do the apostles. While the Dwemer were masters of mechanical construction, Lord Set took it a step further by adding living material to the mix. Kirith... No, never mind.
Let's go.
I saw this from a distance and was instantly intrigued. There's no rhyme or reason to its function, at least none that I can ascertain. Maybe one day I can return with an entire team. For now, let's move. What a magnificent monolith! I wonder if the workings extend into the subterranean levels below us. Maybe that's where the true functioning takes place.
What purpose do you think the broken clock tower serves?
That's what I've been pondering since making my meticulous inspection of the site. It's a conundrum. Despite what that Slagtown trader told me, I don't see any method for determining what time it is. Kirith suggested... No. I can do this without her.
What did Kirith suggest?
Kirith uses intuition and leaps of logic instead of sound deductive reasoning. But it works for her. More often than not, actually. She thinks the tower is part of a vast underground mechanism that makes the city function. I suppose that makes sense.
What do we do now?
We need to go back so I can tell Kirith. Damn. I can't believe I let a stupid argument cut my sister out of this. She should have been here. Not that I don't appreciate your help, mind you, but Kirith and I... we're a team.
It sounds like you have some regrets.
It does, doesn't it? I'm not sure how to proceed. The complexities of social interaction are Kirith's speciality, not mine. She's my sister and we're a team. We work well together. But she did use some harsh, hurtful words. What do you think?
Maybe you should stand up for yourself. Let Kirith know you're as much a part of the team as she is.
You're right. We just proved that I can be a successful explorer on my own. I don't need Kirith. She needs me. Let's return to the Brass Fortress so I can give Kirith a piece of my mind. After you talk to her first, of course.
There you are. I was worried sick about you. Where have you been? Is Raynor all right? I've been pacing around the Brass Fortress, worried sick and waiting for you to return.
I think your brother has something to say to you.
He does he? I suppose that's only fair, since I saved a few choice words for him too. We're partners, and partners don't abandon each other over a minor disagreement. Anyway, thanks for helping my brother out there. I appreciate it.
Kirith, I have something to say to you. I'm your older brother, and I'm a genius. I deserve better than to be scolded as though I were a spoiled child.
Oh, you do you? And is this you not acting like a spoiled child?
There. You did it again. That's just mean. Partners don't treat each other that way. Or at least, they're not supposed to.
About time. I'm proud of you, big brother, finally standing up for yourself. That's what I've been telling you to do all along.
You... well, I mean, what did you expect? I always take your advice to heart. We are partners, after all.
Is this how machines feel as their gears wind down? It's wondrous, isn't it? Elegant, meticulous, timeless. I once took joy in studying the perfection of this realm, but now every revolution of the great gear only tightens the vice in my chest. Tell me, are you here to unravel Lord Set's mysteries?
In a manner of speaking.
Then may I impose on you as a fellow seeker. For all my learning, I can think of no escape from my predicament, save one. An experiment performed by one of my order, for which she was cast out from the Clockwork Apostles. I need you to find her.
You want me to find someone your order exiled?
Terere Heladrin was ahead of her time. It was fear that led to her expulsion, not reason. I see that now. Please find her. Tell her I'll make it right if she'll save my life. There is no one among the Order I can turn to. She is my only hope.
That much I can do.
Terere has been gone a very long time, but her ill-fated experiment created a persistent disorder in the grand schema. Its motions are chaotic, but not entirely unpredictable. Following it may provide some clue to her whereabouts.
Can you tell me anything else about what I'm looking for?
Terere's ambitious experiment resulted in a factotum going haywire. It reduced portions of the brass fortress to shambles before taking its rampage off into the reactor district. We record its movements by analyzing the destruction in its wake.
What is it that's ailing you?
Age, Seeker. Too many grains from the hourglass have gathered in this humble body. They've worn its workings so thin. I don't think it will be long before I join the inert. But I'm not ready. There's still so much to see.
What can you tell me about your order?
We were some of Tamriel's best and brightest magi, invited to the Clockwork City by Sothasil to attend his experiments and learn from the greatest mind in creation. We have been left to our own devices for a long time. Order was needed. Regulation.
I want to know why Terari was cast out.
We believed she was meddling with forces that were solely the domain of the Clockwork God. A backward, emotional response one might expect from followers of a less enlightened deity. Destroying her notes and shunning her ideas was shameful.
Goodbye.
Can you fix it?
Well, I wouldn't say it's broke. It's performing as originally functioned.
I don't need a guard factotum, I need a shop assistant.
There's not much I can do.
And if I could offer some funding for your research?
Perhaps there's something I can do.
Who are you? Give me one good reason why I shouldn't reduce you to dust where you stand.
Sova Sarioni is dying. He thinks your experiment may be the key to saving his life.
He what? No, absolutely not. That experiment cost me everything I held dear. I was a fool to try it. Sovor of all people should know that.
It's a risk he seems willing to take. He said he'd do whatever he could to make things right.
The only thing I want is to put an end to Bolin's misery. You want to make things right? Help me free his soul from its machine prison. Do that, and maybe, just maybe I'll be willing to entertain this insanity.
All right, how might I accomplish that?
Remove the black soul gem from his factotum body and return it to me. He'll resist you, and as that machine, Bolin is extremely dangerous. He nearly killed me during his last episode. In the meantime, I'll contact Sovor, but no promises.
Who is Bolin?
My lover. When I was still an apostle. He was mortally wounded in an accident, beyond any hope of survival, but I couldn't accept that. I was enlightened, so I saved his life by transferring his spirit into a factotum.
The end result wasn't what you had hoped.
Bolin's consciousness took over the factotum, but the experience changed him. He always had a wild, creative mind, and I confined it to a cold, rigid prison. That stifled existence was too much to bear. It drove him mad.
You're certain you want me to destroy Bolin's body?
More than certain. Every moment that he lingers in that mechanical shell is torture. For both of us. Just don't damage the Black Soul Gem. Honestly, I'm not sure you could. But just be careful.
You mentioned an episode. What did you mean?
Bolin's moods are unpredictable. In his rare lucid moments, I try to reach out to him. But no matter what I try, I only ever seem to get him worked up into a frenzy. Seeing him like that makes me wish I wouldn't blame him if he killed me.
What do you intend to do with the Black Soul Gem once you have it?
I don't know. I'd like nothing more than to smash it into 1,000 pieces. But there's no guarantee that that would redeem Bolin's soul. I've been so focused on finding and stopping that factotum that I haven't really considered what would come after.
Goodbye.
Just aside, the equipment is in good order. We just need the vessel, and we can begin.
Is that them? Have they...
This is dredging up so many unpleasant memories. Please tell me you've managed to show Bolin some measure of peace.
I have the Black Soul Gem.
That's something at least. I've agreed to attempt my experiment again with Sovar as my subject. He's promised to petition the Order to end my exile if I'm successful. But I couldn't care less about that. I just want this to be over.
Why go through with it then?
The truth is, I need Sovar as much as he needs me. I think the only way I can safely extract Bolin's soul from the gem is to offer it something in exchange. Who knows if I'll ever have another willing subject? Can I count on your assistance?
What do you need me to do?
I'd like you close at hand in case Sovar has a similar reaction to the experiment as Bolin. Throw that switch when you're ready to begin the transfer. I'll keep watch on the equipment from here.
What are you waiting for? Every moment we delay tempts death to snatch me away.
It's begun. Now would be the time to pray.
I have faith in Lord Set's tenets. Observe, learn, apply. Trust in his grand design.
Yes, it's sublime. This order.
Ifre, I can feel. Thank you. I can feel.
I think it worked. Please, please let it have worked.
I don't feel myself, but I don't care.
Is it him? Is that really my Bolin, or just what's left? Will he hate me? Will he even recognize me? I can't do this. I can't face him.
This may be your last chance.
I know. It's better than not knowing. Always wondering, but thank you for ending this. I need a moment. I don't think Bolin has long. Bolin? Is it you? Speak to me. I need to know it's still you, please.
Terrory, when did we get so old? It's time now, isn't it?
It is. You're free now. I'm sorry for all the pain it caused.
Enough tears, love. We're liable to rust. There. That's the smile.
Did you see? Bolin! It was him. He seemed whole again.
Saver transitioned as well.
Oh yes. He does seem to be coping well, or he's at least more sedate in his insanity. Don't worry. I'll keep watch over him, and make sure he doesn't lapse into some violent fugue.
Bolin seemed grateful for what you did.
He'd been suffering for so long. I'm glad his passing was a peaceful one. I have to hope that wherever he finds to rest, he's the same beautiful soul I remember. Not the tormented mind I saw in that machine.
What will you do now that this is all behind you?
Sovar seems convinced that the Clockwork Apostles need a mind like mine. I won't hold my breath waiting for them to agree. I'll keep in his company for a while, at least until I'm convinced he's stable. After that, I really can't say.
Why do you think his transition was so much easier than Bolin's?
Maybe it's Sovar's faith in Sophaciel's wisdom, or his willingness or understanding of the transition, or maybe he's just better suited to it. Bolin wasn't a Clockwork Apostle, and I made that choice for him. It was a selfish mistake.
Goodbye.
I am one
with Lord Set's grand design. I can feel my purpose in my very core. My mind is free of the clutter of my living needs. I am no longer burdened by the weight of my decaying flesh. I am free. Thank you.
Thank Terari. She is more responsible for this than I am.
All cogs drive the mechanism. Removing any one from the chain, no matter how small, results in failure. I would no longer exist without the both of you. As promised, I will ensure Terrary's reinstatement to the Order. All cogs drive the mechanism.
What will you do with your new life?
Continue the quest for understanding. It has always been my purpose, and I have never been better suited for it. In this form, I may labor as tirelessly as Lord Set himself.
You seem to be coping well.
I have never been better. I may never be better. I only regret not undergoing this self-improvement sooner. The Order was faulty in denying Terrary's genius. I must correct this error.
Is there anyone who can help you if you start feeling abnormal?
There is one place where my condition would not be considered unusual. The Asylum Sanctorium. The resident alienists there can best evaluate my psyche. A stable transference will be welcome news.
Goodbye.
I shouldn't have let Varia go in there alone. When a Clockwork Apostle discovers an unexplainable phenomenon, it can be a moment of unbounded joy or utter terror. That strange portal over there definitely falls into the second category.
What's so terrifying about a portal?
Portals aren't a common occurrence in the Clockwork City. When Acolyte Varia and I approached to investigate, I had a sudden urge to leap inside. I was able to resist its pull, but Varia stepped through the portal and hasn't returned.
And you haven't gone to look for her, because...
I need to make sure no one else wanders into the portal. But maybe you could go in and find Acolyte Varia. This perception tabulator automatically records whatever you experience and should be able to locate my associate. Take it and use it well.
All right, I'll enter the portal and use your device to try find your associate.
Step into the portal when you're ready. The perception tabulator will locate Varia and lead you back to Clockwork City after you complete your investigation. I'll study the phenomenon from out here and make sure no one else enters the portal.
What were you doing out here when you found the mysterious portal?
Mysterious? I would say it falls more into the suspicious category, what with the fact that it tried to lure me inside. Anyway, we were patrolling this quadrant of the radius, and when I noticed the portal out of the corner of my eye.
You're really one of the Clockwork Apostles?
You doubt my credentials? I have served as a scholar and priest of Sotha Seal for a long time. The temporal currents flow somewhat more haphazardly here than they do in Tamriel. We can discuss this more after you find Varia.
When did you get the perception tabulator you provided me with?
That's just one of the technological instruments used by the Clockwork Apostles to conduct research and perform experiments throughout the Clockwork City. I'm sure its recording capabilities will work splendidly in wherever that portal leads to.
Tell me about your missing associate.
Acolyte Varia can be rash, but she's as devoted to the Clockwork City as I am. I can't say if she was compelled by the same impulse that assaulted me, or if she truly wanted to see what was on the other side. You must find her, please.
dare you interrupt my vigil? What nonsense impels you to such a rash and impetuous action?
Vigil? Why are you guarding this field?
You dare question the sacred duty that has been placed before me? I'll have you know What am I doing here? What is this place?
I was hoping you could tell me that.
I remember coming to the Clockwork City when a teleportation ritual went awry. I was looking for a way out when I noticed a strange portal appear in the radius. It called to me. Next thing I know, I'm standing guard over this empty field.
You don't remember anything else?
I remember that you interrupted my vigil. If my attention wavers for even a moment, those crows will take advantage and strip this field to the ground. Leave me! There are secrets in the dark and the night is here!
Goodbye.
Feels like I've been protecting this field for hundreds of years. But I'm certain I just entered this realm a day or so ago.
Do you remember how you got here?
What an odd question. I spotted a portal that should not have been there, and I entered it to see where it led. I determined that this Shadow Cleft is part of the Everglow. How I wound up trapped in a scarecrow, well, that's still somewhat hazy.
What's the Everglow?
You've never heard of the Everglow? It's the Oblivion realm that belongs to Nocturnal, the Night Mistress. I'm sure this Shadow Cleft represents some sort of attack on the Clockwork City, but there's only so much I can determine in my current state.
Is there anything I can do?
I see you have one of our perception tabulators. Continue your investigation and make sure that device gets into the hands of a Clockwork apostle. Be careful. If you end up infused with a scarecrow, then everything you learn will be lost.
Goodbye.
The Great Gear turns in my favor for a change. You have a perception tabulator. Did Adjunct Darrow send you to find me? Of course he did. Listen carefully, and there might still be time to realign this befouled contraption.
You're dead? How can you be talking to me?
That should be the least of your concerns. If you don't do exactly what I tell you, you'll end up like me. Then who will protect the Clockwork City from this Oblivion infestation? You need to destroy the Shadow Array.
What's the Shadow Array?
Some foul device that Night Sister Chimera uses to lure people into the Shadow Cleft and bind them to these scarecrows. If you can destroy it, we'll be set free. Without the Shadow Array, Nocturnal's plans will be set back or even foiled completely. did well. Now return to the Clockwork City and let Darrow know what you learned.
You returned! I must admit, I wasn't sure you'd be able to do that. Do you have the perception tabulator? And what of Acolyte Varia? Were you able to locate her in there?
Varia died, but I destroyed a shadow array and freed her soul.
Dead? Shadow array? I suppose the perception tabulator will explain everything. I'll study it right away. In the meantime, take this. A little something for helping the Clockwork Apostles today.
Thank you. Goodbye.